Hey, welcome back to another episode of Life Isn't Over Yet. I hope that your week was well, and I hope you're enjoying your weekend. And I just want to say hello to the new subscribers, um, and thank you for being here. My last video, I guess it just didn't get out into the main area, and I don't know if it was notified that there was a new episode. And so there was low views on that video. And I was really excited about it because I was going to take you through my mind of how I view the houses in your natal chart. It's still available if you want to take a look at it. I even time stamped it. So if you didn't want to listen to the beginning of the episode, you can go right to when I began talking about looking at your houses through a designer's aspect, if you're interested in that. So I was going to start a series on that to help you to understand like the placements, the planets, and everything. But I always take notice with my guides and what they want me to talk about. So being that there was low views, it's probably too soon for me to dive into that. So I'm just going to put it on the back burner. And today I just want to talk about what's happening with this Sagittarius full moon. So on June the 11th, we are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius. And full moons are a great time to set intentions and to let go of things that are not serving you. So if you have a ritual behind it, this would be the time to do that. And the rituals that I like to do have to do with my altar and candles, and then also writing and setting intentions and what I want to come in and what I want to let go. And usually, what we want to let go is the negative chatter in our mind. It's the things that we keep telling ourselves that we have on repeat that are holding us back from really showing up and creating the reality in which we want to live in. And it brought me to going back to basics and thinking about our imagination. Now, Sagittarian energy is all about like it rules the ninth house, and the ninth house is about higher education. It is about dogma, religion, philosophy, and traveling abroad. And it got me thinking about the age of enlightenment during the first Renaissance. During the first Renaissance is when they started realizing that God was within and it came through without, within, without, as above, so below. But their creativity came through them from source energy. And so it was also considered the time of humanism, as well as the age of enlightenment, as well as Renaissance and the Golden Age. And that's when we had the great artists like Michelangelo and Da Vinci and many more. And one of the things that I had done some research on with Michelangelo is that when he sculpted and he was looking for his pieces of marble that he was sculpting, he saw the image in the slab of marble. So if he didn't see it in the marble, he didn't want that piece. And he was searching for the perfect piece because he would see the sculpture within it. And that's pretty much what we do all the time, but we forgot. And that is that we use our lens of creativity in order to bring things into reality. And that is your imagination. Now, your imagination is what creates in the invisible and brings things into the physical. But it's also where you can be spiritually connected because you can see the vision first before it manifests into the physical. And so this started making me, I started, thinking about the ninth house placements with this full moon in Sagittarius. And what is one of the rituals that we really should be working on to get back to using our imagination. And that is because imagination was pushed into the corner of the arts. So it stopped becoming part of our process. And instead, it was something that you did creatively. But remember, when I was just talking about the Age of Enlightenment, what they saw was that it was coming from within and then without, and they were having the visions of the art first. So, this is how we've always worked in our reality. But in order to create more workers in the world, you take the imagination away and you make them believe that it's through hard work that they can manifest anything into their life. But that's not the way that the universe is set up. That's not the way God, source energy, wanted us to create our reality. And when you think of us being soul, being spirit, we came here because we wanted to feel expansive. Now, Jupiter is the planet that rules the ninth house. And so Jupiter is the planet of expansive energy, and it happens to be moving into Cancer this month. And so Cancer is the feminine, the mother, the subconscious mind. So when I think of that, I think of what beliefs are coming up to the surface that are being expanded, that you came here to create, that is part of who you are, that's part of your deepest source, your essence. And with this full moon on June 11th coming in, along with other transits that are happening in the sky, which I just want to focus on the full moon and Jupiter moving into Cancer, because Cancer is also the nurturer. It's when we take time to take care of ourselves. So take a look and see where you have Cancer in your chart, because you're going to feel this even more expansively because Jupiter is moving in there. I happen to have uh, my Cancer placement is in the sixth house. Now, if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, you can get your chart for free from astroseek.com, and you want to draw it up in whole signs. Now, what you need your date of birth, the place you were born, and your time of birth. And the time is very important because that reveals your rising sign. And then you want to draw it up in whole signs so the houses make sense. So mine is in the sixth house, which is the house of health and service and daily habits. And what I'm finding during this month of before we transition into Cancer energy, um, because we are in Gemini season, what was coming up for me was a lot with communication and self-expression. And that is because I have Gemini in the fifth house, which the fifth house is of self-expression. But this is a time for us to really remember our childlike essence before the world told us who we were supposed to be. And one of the things that came up for me is like, when did I lose my childlike essence? So you might want to journal around that question. Like, when did you stop believing in magic? When did you stop believing in the magic of imagination? Because your childlike essence always, you will hear that in order to manifest, you need to be childlike. And childlike is like you're playing pretend, but you really believe it's real. You use your imagination, like making mud pies and creating this feast for your friends, or playing like you're in a rocket ship, or whatever the where your imagination took you. You didn't say, "Oh, I can't experience that because I don't have a rocket ship." You just pretended that you had a rocket ship. And so that's your imagination. And because society told us that imagination was for pretend, we forgot how to use it. And Gemini season is all about communication and words and teaching. And publishing is the house the ninth house where we're going to be having this full moon in Sagittarius. So it got me thinking about publishing your life story and using your imagination to scribe the story that you want to create. By using your imagination, there's no inhibition there, there's no expectation, it's just pure magic. Um, and so I would like to invite you to do this. And what I did was I picked up just a notebook, spiral back notebook. I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to add, basically, I'm going to create this like my grimoire. And so incantations are words, right? Words create spells. It's how we speak to ourselves. If you ever feel like you're dealing with anxiety or depression or feeling lost, it's because you're so much in your head, you're overthinking the process. So, words are very powerful, and we have thousands of thoughts every day, and those thoughts take us off course. And so when you start to become intentional on what it is that you really want to experience in your reality, and you use your imagination and you write the words and you create the vision in which you want to live in, that is like the most magical thing and most important thing you can do for yourself. And I journal every day. And then it started to become very much the mundane because I've been doing it for years. And so that's why I was moved to create sort of a grimoire of the reality, the creative story that I want to live, and how I want to experience my reality. Because I can tell you, and maybe you resonate with this, I feel like the unseen world in my imagination is far more magical than reality. And because we've all been going through this spiritual awakening and the dark night of the soul and the unraveling of our ego, it's to get us back to the place of magic, the belief in our imagination, the belief that there is something more than what we are seeing with the physical eye. And there's so much dogma happening in conspiracy, and there's just a lot of things happening in the world. And this is not about escapism, but this is about building in your imagination what it would mean to you to live in a world that represented peace and love and harmony and was an extension of you. Because we all know that at the core, we are love, right? We are stars, we are the universe, we're observing ourselves, but we're also the storytellers. And if you don't know what your story is, it can feel like you're lost in an ocean of thought. And so this is a time for you to find a way to put things down on paper in words that become the scribe for your life. And you can have fun with this. Just think of it like an interactive journal where you can use like stickers and washi tape and images, and you can paint and you can put symbols, you can create your own spells, your poetry. Um, and I'll show you over time what I'm doing with mine, with this book here that I'm creating. But I really believe that you can publish your own book, and it doesn't have to be like the number one bestseller. You're not, take the pressure off of publishing, because when I think about this, I was being guided to remember the magic within, the magic that I have, the visions that I have. And it's very, in my mind, it's very immersive and very creative. But in the physical world, it just seems like there's a lot of resistance. There's not free flowing. So you have to find your medium that takes you and where you feel like you're in the zone and you're one with, going back to the age of enlightenment And the great artists like Michelangelo, who looked at a slab of marble and he saw the statue within it. He didn't look at a slab and say, I'm going to create it. He looked at it like, how can he looked at it like, how can he um, carve it out of the stone? And that's really what this is about. So this episode is going to be short, but what it's for is to get your imagination going. That's what I wanted this to be about. To allow yourself to tap into your childlike essence and remove the resistance and know that your words, freeform writing is the best way, and you can get whatever your imagination is wanting to feel. Because I do feel like our third eye chakra has been blocked, the crown chakra, to receive the downloads and understanding that we're enlightened beings, we're spiritual, we're here to feel the expansiveness of our imagination. And through that, we need to have physical reality. So that's why we took on our physical form in order to express ourselves. So use this Sagittarius full moon to let go of any resistance that's holding you back from that creative part of who you are, to tap into your words and find the medium that works for you. For me, it happens to be writing, and that's why I'm going to be doing it in a book and creating my own grimoire, and the poetry that comes up, and the beliefs that come up, and the spell work and the intentions that I want to set to remove those obstacles in my life and really create the story that is most aligned with me. Because when you are stuck in the mundane and you are just on a hamster wheel and all you're doing is chasing more, you forget your childlike essence. You're willing to explore. And even when I think of Sagittarius's energy and traveling abroad, traveling overseas, the magic in that, to travel to another world that you've never explored before, to see the creativity in European countries and the history and the historical agriculture, or not agriculture, architecture, and agriculture as well. But the beauty of this earth and the tapestries that have been woven and the art that has been created through all different kinds of mediums allows you to become the explorer in your life. And if you don't have the means to travel, you can always travel with pen and paper or to pick up a book and read about some faraway place. But this is really about the time to tap in to your childlike essence while you're healing from your dark night of the soul and you're letting go of your ego and you're ready to just be one with nature, with the universe, and to release any of the dogma and to surrender to the magic within. Then I'll see you next time.